They said the cut was clean. That was the explanation. Trimmed, neaten,
We are ready to
finished.
proceed with the next
Nothing
phase.
unusual.
The data
That was how they
indicates a
wanted
slight
it to
variance in the
sound.
third quarter.
Precise,
Yes, I noticed
orderly,
that. We should
harmless.
focus our strategy
Because
here.
once an edge looked straight enough, most people stopped asking what the paper had suffered before it was cut. That was the mistake. A clean cut did not erase what pressure had done first. Paper remembered compression, damage, resistance. It remembered which fibers had been crushed before the blade arrived. The document lay on the desk between them, flat, official, one side edge trimmed sharply. That was what they wanted her to see. A neat correction, a cleaner margin, a straight finish with no history left behind. The man across from her didn't look worried. He looked settled. It was cut clean, he said, calm, easy, certain, as if a blade could simplify everything that came before it. For most people, it could, because once an edge looked smooth enough, they stopped asking why part of it still carried flattened fibers instead of fresh ones. That was the comfort of neatness. Sarah looked at the edge, not at how straight it was, at the fiber line, at the tiny pressed areas where the paper had not sprung back. That was the difference. Other people saw a cut. Sarah saw sequence. A woman to the side relaxed too early. Another person pressed the page flatter against the desk, as if pressure could make the cut look equally new all the way through. That was useful. It meant they believed a straight edge was enough. Sarah leaned forward, not to question the blade itself, to compare which parts had been cut fresh
First the
and
crushed
which
cut,
parts had
then
first
the
been
cut.
crushed.
Cush cut, or
That
was it the
where
other
the
way
story
around?
broke.
No.
A true clean
Crush,
cut left
cut.
one behavior: fresh edge, released fibers, even finish. This one didn't. Most of the edge looked newly cut, but one short section still held fibers pressed flat into the paper. Not lifted, not free, still crushed. That was the problem. The blade had come after something else. Pressure first, cut second. That was worse, because trimming could be blamed on correction. But a cut that passed through already crushed fibers belonged to concealment,
What is it?
to clean up,
Early?
to removing the visible shape after the damage had already happened. Sarah looked again, not at the line, at the crushed section that had survived inside the cut. The man across from her noticed the pause. His shoulders changed before his face did. That was enough. "What is it?" the woman asked. Too soon, too exposed. Sarah placed one finger beside the fresh edge, then moved it to the crushed section. "This was cut," she said. Then she held the flattened fibers. "This was pressed first." Silence. No one interrupted, because cuts were not opinion. They were sequence, and sequence was hard to deny once one part arrived too late. The man leaned forward, looked at the fresh edge again, then the crushed fibers,
With all due
then
respect,
back again.
what you've described
He
so
didn't
far
answer.
only implicates
That
you
was
further.
the answer. The woman to the side straightened slowly. Another person stopped touching the page. That was how certainty broke. Not when the edge looked neat, when one section remembered what happened before the cut. The same margin they called clean now exposed the pressure that came first. Sarah didn't push further. She didn't need to. The paper was doing enough already. One edge, one crushed section, one order that did not belong. 3 details that should have protected their version, now turning against it. The man sat back, careful now, no longer settled. The document remained
It's
open
not
between
clean.
them, still
wasn't
trimmed,
just a simple
still
slice.
formal, still presentable,
closer.
and no longer believable. Sarah stepped back half a pace, still there, still watching, but no longer proving. Because once a cut contains fibers that never reopened, clean stops being the explanation. And sometimes, the fastest way to expose what was hidden by a neat edge is not to ask why it was cut. It is to ask which fibers never recovered before the blade went through them.
The best part is about to begin. Don't miss it. Subscribe now.